Like in other news, I've also been working on like my sort of personal life. So like a sort of personal life tracker, if that makes sense. Like, I just think I put in so much effort in like business and things like that. I am also massive on personal development and growth. So yeah, not only within business, but in terms of like life hacking. So I've put together this automation, and it's a mixture of like productivity and happiness. Generally, if I'm productive, I'm really happy. I like achieving things. So this is like an Airtable. I just put it together this morning, and we're going to build like an automation around this. So it's just got general data points that I want to track. So think of this as like a, I don't know, mixed panel, like Google Analytics for my life. Like there are certain things that I know impact my day-to-day mood, how I'm feeling, what I'm doing, the direction that I want to go in my life. And I'm setting these up as data points, and every day I'll collect this information, and after like a week, after a month, I can come through and analyze it quite easily with even just with Airtable. So this is why I love the flexibility of Airtable. So we're tracking things like how many hours sleep did I have, what was my mood like in the morning. So this morning I woke up with a 6 out of 10. I'm really not a morning person, so that's actually quite good for me. Did I eat carbs yesterday? Yes, I ate a lot of carbs. Had a cheat day. What time did I go to sleep? Did I lie in bed? This is another thing that I want to work on improving. Like I have a habit of just lying in bed for like half an hour every morning, just like flicking through my phone, or like if I leave my laptop close to my bed, then it's even worse. I end up just working from my bed in the morning, and I think that's a really bad habit. So that's one thing that I'm trying to improve. So this morning I did waste time just lying in bed, just working from bed, checking emails and so on. So I'm trying to fix that. My general morning routine is first off cappuccino. Obviously I'm British, so I drink a lot of tea, and then I drink like a liter of water. I try and drink about 4 liters of water per day. Cappuccinos, and I have like a cappuccino machine, and then I drink quite a lot of tea as well. And then I'll send myself an automated message asking what my afternoon mood is. Did I exercise? How much money did I make? Did I have sex that day? Did I masturbate that day? Did I listen to music whilst working? These are things that I think like have a factor on my mood quite a lot. Like, did I exercise? How much money did I make? Did you have sex? Obviously, I have like a girlfriend, so I have like quite a healthy sex life. Did I masturbate? This is like obviously something that's quite different to talk about on this channel, but I do find it has like a massive impact on a mood, like on my mood, and particularly with like testosterone and things like these are all things that sort of come into play. So I take like quite a conscious effort just to limit like masturbation. It's becoming something that's actually spoken about quite a lot more. Like there's a lot of like threads on Reddit for people trying to give up like masturbation and things like that, and I completely stand by it. I think you have like a much better mood. Your relationship with like girlfriend with a girlfriend is much better, or if you're single, you have much more motivation to go out and approach and talk to women. So it's just something that I thought I'd do. And if you, I've come up with a little hack for getting around this. It's basically if like you feel the urge to of like masturbation, instead going and like doing exercise, like something as simple as like doing 10 push-ups instead, or something like that. It actually like I think it sort of releases testosterone from your body a bit, and you don't feel the urge to go and masturbate quite as much. So that's just something interesting that I actually learned that in a it was a documentary on porn stars, I think, and that they said they're not allowed to exercise on the same day that they have like a shoot for male porn stars, because it reduces like testosterone and various other things. Yeah, but I'm happy to talk about it more if people are interested. It's something that I've been reading about quite a lot because of the world that we live in, where everything is so like sexualized on like Instagram. Like porn is just more accessible than it's ever been. Like it's almost impossible to escape the sort of like we have like sort of sexual stimuli all around us. So if people are interested to hear more about it, I'm happy to talk about it. It's something that I've been like just working on quite a lot recently, like minimizing like masturbation as much as possible, and in general just trying to cut it out completely from my life. I don't think it brings any like positives, particularly if you have like a relationship where you have a girlfriend. Like really, there's no need for the latter. And as well, like, did I listen to music whilst working? In general, I find I'm really if I listen to music whilst working, I'm much more productive, and I also have a much better mood. Like I really like tech house. I'll listen to anything. Like I can listen to anything from like classical music, Antonio Vivaldi. I really like his work. To like Beethoven, or I don't really like pop music. Even like if I'm at the gym, I can listen to like gangster rap. It just depends on what mood I'm in, and if I'm working, I really like deep house, tech house, like very like quite sort of melodic but like deep vibes. And like AirPods Pro that I have in now, they're like perfect. They block out all background noise. So for productivity, that's what I like to listen to, and I find I'm much more productive. Did I read that day? That doesn't have like a massive impact on my mood, to be honest. But I love learning. So like, did I read that day is very like valid. How positive did I feel? I guess that is a factor. So that's another like metric that I'm tracking, and time focused on like affirmations. And what I mean by that is I am like a massive believer. I'm not like religious at all, but I am a big believer in like the sort of law of attraction. I think is what most people will know it by. And I first came across this by like my experiences with like DMT, which is like dimethyltryptamine. If anyone's familiar with it, it's a like class A drug, but it exists in like our minds and already exists in our bodies, and it pretty much exists in like most living things. The way most people get DMT to smoke is you extract it from tree bark. So like marijuana, I'm not a fan of marijuana at all, but DMT is like another naturally occurring substance that when I was younger, I used to play around with it a lot more. These days, I haven't done it in maybe like 4 or 5 years now. But I came across the idea of like energy, positive energy and negative energy, and like everything is just sort of based on your mindset. Our life is almost like a projection of our mind. Like everything sort of starts with a thought. Now, I'm not saying that if you in your mind say that like you want to be like a billionaire or a millionaire, that like or whatever, that it's just going to happen to you. Like, okay, there's a chance that it might. But by starting off with like the thought and knowing what you want, I just find like in your day-to-day life, everything sort of just comes together. Like if you don't have a thought of like I want to be healthy, and you don't first set yourself on the road to do that by thinking about it, you're never going to be healthy. Like you need to actually set like the goals in your mind and have everything that you want to achieve. And I do completely believe that like a negative attitude, I don't know anyone who, I know some really, really successful people. I've met a billionaire before and sat down and had dinner with him. I know a lot of multi-millionaires, and I've met one billionaire that I spoke with on a one-to-one basis. And the one thing that you find in common is you don't find a negative successful person. So I think that is just a massive it's just a massive impact on success. You can also go and like see this for yourself. If you go and look at like a number of celebrities that are sort of at the top of their field, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he just sort of dominated the bodybuilding industry, and he didn't like play by the rules. It was also known, if you go and watch documentaries, that he was good friends with the judges and things were tipped in his favor. And then he went on to like the movie industry and sort of dominated that. And there's a documentary on him called Iron Mind, is it? I can't. Pumping Iron. And if you listen to it, there's a portion where he says like, his father had died and he had a competition coming up, and he just didn't even think about it. He had just such a ruthless but focused mindset on what his goal was, that he wouldn't allow anything negative to come in to distract him from his goal at the time. And That is very extreme, but it's something that you have to do. You can also look at like, Conor McGregor, for example. If you go and watch him in like the early stages of his career, there's documentaries on him that you can watch. He talks a lot about like positivity, and there's actually one where he's reading quotes from a book called The Secret about being like positive, visualizing yourself winning, in his case, a tournament, or just achieving whatever goals you want. I forget the name of the actor. Now let me just pull him up. How can I forget his name? Denzel Washington, sorry, now it's come back to me. He talks a lot about these types of things. Even like Morgan Freeman, I've heard mentioned. Yeah, it's all about like positivity, positive mindset, and just mentioning things that sort of come back to the law of attraction. And you can actually go and look at sort of quantum physics, which is if people are interested in it. I've just read like several like books on it, and even if we look at Albert Einstein's like E equals mc squared, it's essentially just saying that everything equals energy. Energy cannot be destroyed; it always exists, regardless of if we die or whatever happens. Energy cannot be destroyed, and we, by putting out like positive, and I don't want to get too like sort of spiritual and sort of yoga focused, but by putting out positive thoughts into the world, I believe that positive things come back to you. If you put out negative thoughts, I've been like depressed a number of times in the past, and the only way to get over it is by changing your mindset. That's what worked for me. I was this was years ago now, but I've taken pills before for anti-depression, and like none of that worked. Everything just has to start from up here. Like the antidepressive pills just sort of numb you down and just bring you into the middle, and they sort of stop you feeling anything. Is what I found. Whereas what you need is to like sort out your mindset and change your thinking patterns. You can do things like cognitive behavioral therapy. That was quite good, like making you see things in a more positive way. So yeah, that's just like I try and focus on being positive. And if you're interested in this, you can go and read about like quantum physics. And it's looking at things on like a sort of molecular, as small as we can go in physics, looking at like sort of particle based science, and how like that can be impacted by energy and what's around us. So that went on for quite a long time. And then I'd like to, like time away from computer. I think I just spend all day just sitting in front of a computer working, looking at a screen. I get so into it, but it's important to go and do other things as well. So I have to try and make sure I set aside the time to do that. One other thing that I notice is a lot of my best ideas actually come when I'm doing nothing. So I have like a clear mind. Again, going back to even like the porn thing that I mentioned before, there's so much like stimuli around us. Like Instagram, like I don't have Instagram or Facebook. I've deleted both of them, but you just find yourself just like scrolling through things, just wasting time. And I think it's very important to take time throughout the day. You don't necessarily have to like meditate, but take time to do nothing. Even like 15 minutes, just be sort of alone with your thoughts, like sitting on a sofa. Don't have a phone in your hand, don't have anything. You want no mental, you want nothing to like stimulate your brain. You want to be completely relaxed, and just like whatever your brain like sort of thinks about. That's when I often come up with like my best ideas. Like before this corona situation, like going for like a massage or something, or even when I would go and just go on like a little walk, I would often find I came up with like good ideas, because you're just allowing your brain time to think. You're not stimulating yourself with anything else. So yeah, that's like a really good habit. And I think it was Tools for Titans. Tools of Titans, maybe by Tim Ferriss. The one thing I noticed is that a lot of these sort of successful people that he analyzed, the one thing they had in common is they all went walking every day without, not listening to music, not doing anything, just being at one with your with your thoughts. I think it's a really good thing for entrepreneurs to do. And then I'm just rating like my productivity out of 10. Did I take a task-based approach? So, I'm building up the habit of always working using Sunsama, which is like my favorite app for doing like project management. Whenever I use it, I love it and I get so much stuff done. Whenever I don't use it, I find I'm far less productive, but for some reason I find it difficult to build a habit out of it. So I'm still working on that. But today I'm working on it and I've got a number of tasks done, and I can see I've got 30 minutes remaining, how much longer I need to focus on every task for that day. But yeah, so this is like a different video, just like an update on what I'm doing and what we've been working on this week. So I'm going to build an automation for this where it's going to send me a message on Slack at various times throughout the day based on these different things, and then it will update the data. And then after about 7, maybe 14 days, we'll have enough information that we can start to analyze. So I can see like, okay, on days that I've performed like this, how high did I rate my productivity? So this is just feeding that data to us. Essentially, it's like me plugging in, like Mixpanel or something like that into my life, feeding back data to a database for me to analyze. So I'm happy to like share that after if people are interested to see how things come. And if you listen to, like, I don't know if people watch like a lot of like morning routine videos or things like that. That's just what is working for that individual. Really, I think that you should come up with your own routine. By all means, like seek inspiration from other people, seek inspiration from this and take points from this. But just because it works for me and this is the best morning routine that I come up with, you should go and test it. Test your own like morning routines and like just constantly optimize. Like if we spend so much time optimizing our business and things like that and running like A/B tests and experiments, why on earth wouldn't you run it on your life as well? If you can make yourself a much better life by understanding what really, like, just because you believe it does, in fact, like the data may tell you completely differently. So just by tracking these things, I think it's really interesting. It's a very easy way to like understand what stimulates you, what makes you happy, what makes you more productive, and what you should do more of to have like a really good life. Like obviously, I'm interested. Like I love business and entrepreneurship, but the reason I first got into that it was just to improve the situation in my life. So I think it's not good to like lose focus of that and lose track of that. It's very easy to get completely engrossed within business, but also just make sure that you're optimizing your personal life on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's probably one of the most important things that we can do, understanding ourselves, what makes us happy, and how we can implement things in our life to make us happier. Like you may even want to track different things, like how long you spend with your girlfriend on a daily basis, how long you spend with your family or parents, whatever your situation may be. But just some ideas. I thought I'd put some inspiration out there. If you have any like questions, as always, please leave a comment. I've got a few videos I've recorded for various like growth strategies. I just haven't got around to editing them because I've been like super busy. But yeah, thank you very much for watching.